Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. In the previous lecture, we discussed about binomial and trinomial nomenclature. I'm very glad to see the immense love all of you given to me. In the today's lecture, we shall be learning about taxonomic categories. Taxonomic categories means the grouping of organisms into different categories on the basis of their similarities and dissimilarities. I repeat it. Taxonomic categories deals with the grouping of organisms into different categories on the basis of their similarities and dissimilarities. There are 7 obligate categories mentioned here. The first one is species, second was genus, next is family, then order, class, phylum and division, and kingdom. So now let us discuss about these 7 obligate categories. First one is species. Species means a group of closely related interbreeding species having similar features. Species is defined as a group of closely related interbreeding population having similar features. I forgot the word population. You have to write it here. Group of closely related interbreeding population having similar features. The next one is genus. Genus represents group of closely related species. Genus represents group of closely related species. Next one is family. Family possess closely related genera which are grouped together. Family represents closely related genera which are grouped together. Next one is order. Order is a group of closely related families. Group of closely related families. Class. Class possess closely related orders. The next one is phylum or division. Phylum is used for plants and division is used for animals. So, closely related classes of plants represents phylum and closely related classes of animals represents division. The highest category in taxonomic categories was kingdom. Kingdom possess closely related phylum or division. Phylum means plants and division means animals. These are 7 major obligate categories we have discussed. Types of categories. Intermediate categories. It is important, so we discussed intermediate categories. There are certain categories which comes between 2 obligate categories, means between species or genus or family, may be family or order in between two different categories. Between these, these, or vice versa. And so on. Categories comes between two obligate categories. Categories comes between two obligate categories means between these two, and so on. So let us take example to understand better. First example is subspecies. Subspecies. Subfamily. Subfamily category comes between family and genus. Take another example. Superfamily. It comes between family and order. But here is very important term that you have to remember is tribe. Tribe. It is very important with the examination point of view. It comes between subfamily and genus. Clear? Means subfamily, here subfamily and genus. Between these here is a tribe. Clear? Now we have to take examples in the form of a flowchart. Examples. Example of all categories. So we started from the first category, that is species. Let us take example of brinjal, potato, etc. These two are species. Comes under the genus. These two are species. Comes under the genus Solanum. Solanum is a genus of potato family. Clear? Let us take another example of genus, that is Datura. It is also example of genus. Next, take example of family. Solanum genus comes under the family Solanaceae. Solanaceae is a family of potato family. Another example of family is convolvulaceae. Convolvulaceae. Solanaceae is a family of potato, and Convolvulaceae is a family of sweet potato. Let us take example of order. These two, Solanaceae and Convolvulaceae, comes under the order Polymoniales. Polymoniales. Another example of order is Sapindales. Take example of class. Polymoniales and Sapindales comes under the class Dicotyledonnae. Dicotyledonnae. It is better to understand. Polymoniales and Sapindales comes under the category Dicotyledonnae. Another example of class is Monocotyledonnae. Clear? Both of these comes under phylum, that is Angiospermae. Angiospermae. And another example of phylum is Gymnospermae. Gymnospermae. And these two phylums comes under kingdom Plantae. So we discussed about plants, example of plants. Let us repeat it again to understand it better. First we take two species, brinjal and potato. All of you know about them. Brinjal and potato comes under the genus Solanum. And another example of genus is Datura. Clear? Now Solanum comes under family Solanaceae. Another example of family is Convolvulaceae. Solanaceae is a family of potatoes and Convolvulaceae is a family of sweet potato. These two, Solanaceae and Convolvulaceae, comes under the order Polymoniales. And another example of order is Sapindales. It is the order of mango. Polymoniales and Sapindales comes under the class Dicotyledonnae, means possess two cotyledons. Okay? And another example of class is Monocotyledonnae. Dicotyledonnae and Monocotyledonnae comes under the phylum Angiospermae. And another example of phylum is Gymnospermae. And Angiospermae, Gymnospermae comes under the kingdom Plantae. With this, we finish the topic of taxonomic categories. Our next topic is taxonomic aids. Taxonomic aids. What are taxonomic aids? Taxonomic aids are the procedures and techniques and techniques used to preserve information as well as specimens. Specimen means plants or animals. So taxonomic aids are procedures and techniques used to preserve information as well as specimens. Clear? Let us discuss about taxonomic aids types. Herbarium, museum, Botanical Gardens, Zoological Parks. And the last category is flora, manual, monograph, catalog, and journal. Please write down this. Taxonomical aids classified into three categories: this, and this. Herbarium and museum. Herbarium is used for the preservation of dried plants, and museum is an exhibition for the specimens. Botanical gardens for living plants, and zoological parks for living animals. These are the source of information. So let us discuss about these three categories. First category possess herbarium and museums. First is herbarium. Note down this topic. Herbarium. Herbarium is generally a storehouse for plants that is dried and pressed on sheets. Storehouses of plants which are dried, preserved, and pressed on sheets. Clear? Now we have to understand processes involved in maintaining herbarium. So let us discuss about processes involved in maintaining herbarium. First is collection. First one is collection. Second one is drying. Third is poisoning. The next one is stitching and labeling, and the last one is deposited on herbarium sheets. Collection means to collect the plants which we have to dried, preserved and pressed on sheets. Drying means the plant we selected should be dried. Poisoning means protects itself from fungus and bacterial infection by use of DDT, etc. Stitching and labeling means stitching, it means the plants are stitched and attach a label. Deposited on herbarium sheets. After all these processes, the plant which is dried, preserved and at the last it is deposited or pressed on herbarium sheets for exhibitions. Example of herbarium is Royal Botanical Garden in England. Clear? The next category is museum. Second is museums. Clear? You all know about museums. What are museums? In museums, there is an exhibition of plants and as well as animals. Exhibition of preserved plants as well as animals. So museum means in museums there are exhibitions of preserved plants as well as animals for information of students and research team. Animals and plants are preserved in liquid preservatives which may be formalin or formaldehyde. Clear? Example of museum is National Museum of history in Delhi. Is that clear to all of you? Come on, the next topic. Our next topic is Botanical Gardens. Botanical Gardens. So what are botanical gardens? Botanical gardens are generally collection of living plants. Botanical gardens possess collection of living plants clear? Botanical garden means collection of living plants. The major function of botanical garden is to provide conservation of plants. Conservation of plants. Conservation of plants. In situ conservation and ex situ conservation. In situ means inside the natural habitat and ex situ means outside the natural habitat. Clear? Example of botanical garden is Indian Botanical Garden. Example, Indian Botanical Garden in Havra. Havra. Clear? Our next topic is, next category is Zoological Parks. Zoological Parks. Zoological parks possess wild animals. Wild animals. In zoological parks, there are present wild animals and they feel zoological parks as their natural habitat. Clear? Wild animals feel that zoological parks are their natural habitat because the owners or founders of zoological parks provide suitable environment for wild animals. Clear? Example of zoological park is Cruisers Park. Cruisers Park in Africa. Clear? Now our last topic is information sources. Information sources. That is manual, monograph, manual, monograph, flora, journal and catalog. Catalog we discussed at the end. Clear? So now first discuss about manual. Manual is a book that enlists the plants of particular area. Manual is a book or books that enlists the plants of particular area. The next one is monograph. Source of information, source of all kind of information about taxons. Clear? Flora. Flora is a book or books that possess inventory of plants. Inventory of plants of a defined geographical area. Clear? So flora are the books that possess inventory of plants of a defined geographical area. The next one is general. General possess information of ongoing research. Journals possess the information about ongoing research. The last one is catalog. 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 What are catalog? Catalogs is also a source of information which possess alphabetical names, means alphabetically arranged names of species, all species. Clear? Alphabetical names of species and also their features. Clear? Is that clear to all students? So with this, I finished my chapter of the living world. Please revise it again and again. Here is a break for you for 2 days. Please revise this chapter. In the next lecture, I deals with the chapter 1st of class +2. Till then, be safe. See you in the next lecture. Thank you.